Good morning, peeps. Erin Zoom Warrior signing in. Don't forget to like, follow, do all the fun stuff. Share it around, etc. Easefulness in the storm. I've been debating over this topic, and I kind of tuned in yesterday, and then I actually, for the first time in a while, deleted a video, because as you know, I fly off the cuff here, and I just let my 4323 channel do its thing. It's unconscious, it can do that. And I've been really debating over this concept of balance, of understanding what it is to be in life and recognize that sometimes, well, we all have tendencies towards a particular way. Some of us rest really well. Maybe sometimes we get so good at resting that it actually becomes a lack of moving. You know, a lack of moving when our authority, our internal body intuition says, yo, that's something for you. Go do it. Go have fun. Go enjoy. Go for the walk. Go to the sauna. Go to the cafe. Whatever it is, all of a sudden you find yourself still sitting at home 2 hours later. And some of us are so busy being busy that we have never questioned whether we're busy doing anything in particular or whether we're just avoiding ourselves and avoiding the rest and avoiding the quiet, because we've been so deeply programmed against ourselves that we don't realize that the rest, the non-active relaxing, you bullshitting bastards with your active relaxing crap. Look, there is such a thing as active relaxing, that's true. But I hear these people say to me, oh, I'm not really into meditation, I'm an active relaxer. I'm like, yeah, you need constant distraction, constant occupation in order for you to not hear the volume of yourself. You know, you're so uncomfortable with the silence because it's deafening inside your head, and some part of you can't be with that. It can't be with that deafening sound of silence. And the funny thing is that if you actually frickin' tried, which most of you active relaxers don't, you will find that you can become bulletproof by becoming familiar with that which is so cacophonous inside your head that it's deafening. That when you become familiar with it, you will realize you can hear something else, that there is actually something else there. But you're so caught up in trying to avoid the deafening sounds of your own self that you just stay busy. Equally, there's something to be said, and it's an interesting one. When you finally stop, you may find that you stop for so long that then you wonder whether you should have started again. And sometimes you should have. And sometimes you shouldn't have. That's an interesting game to play, because that's what happens. That's what's happened to me next, right? You do, but you're totally in my way. It's a guy just sitting in the middle of the road, not letting me go. And so, how do you find the balance? Well, that's what meditation is for. And meditation is, everybody is out here hoping for the better life. And I've spent a lot of time around millionaires, multimillionaires, some billionaires. I've met some of the richest people in this country, and have had the pleasure of getting to know them and getting to know their trials and tribulations and their struggles. And people are like, rich people with struggles? I'm like, everybody got struggles. Just because it's not your struggles doesn't mean people don't have struggles, right? Everybody's human. Even if there are some people that are at such high levels that we wonder whether they are human anymore or not. I don't know, I think I question that. But in order for you to have an easeful life, you must become easeful in the storm. And there are certain things out there that would make that easier. But if you don't become the eye of the storm, you will never attain those things, right? Because I see people who have done their very best to attain financial freedom in the hope that it will make their life easeful. And their life is not easeful. Equally, I've met people who it is. Money's made a big fucking difference, right? But a lot of people are wondering about how they're going to get the money. They're wondering about, they're always looking at the hole in the donut. Instead of looking at where they're going, they're looking at where they're stuck. And it's like, if you want money, great. Why do you want it? What's it going to give you? I want it because then it won't feel like this. Nah, wrong answer. Right? You're caught in the storm. The easefulness is looking for the easefulness. The easefulness is being easeful without it on your way to it, because you'll always be on your way to something. And that's what I've learned by observing the very, very rich people in the world, is that they're still on their way to something. You know, some of them are having a great fucking time superficially and not such a great time spiritually. They're still on their way somewhere. And sometimes when you've got all the money in the world, your ability to distract yourself is so epically propelled by all that money that you can stay busy in all the fun stuff. And I have really good-hearted people around me who have that kind of level of freedom. And they are busy and busy and busy and busy. And I look at them and I'm like, well, you don't have your health. You know, your liver is screwed, your kidneys are on the floor. In Chinese and traditional Chinese medicine, you're a dead man walking. What good is all your busyness? So I've really been considering this concept of what it is to be in the storm. And a lot of you out there want relationships, and I'm often talking about relationships. And I said to someone I've been chatting to recently, I said, you know, I am not looking for a perfect person. That doesn't exist. I'm not perfect. But I am looking for someone who can be brutally honest, who can be direct, and who can converse, who can actually communicate, that I might be also sexually attracted to. And the reality is there are a lot of people who struggle to be easeful enough to be that honest. You think you all want it, but if you're really honest, it's not that easy, right? And it takes practice. And so if you really want to have a better life, you are going to have to become the eye of the storm. You are going to have to become the ease that you crave, because life is always going to be a storm. Life is always going to throw stuff at you. And when it's not throwing stuff at you, it is because you are being invited to the cacophony of your own silence. That's why. It is actually trying to leave you in your discomfort so that you might realize that something internally needs to mutate. And so life ebbs and flows, you know. Anyway, please like, comment, share stuff. And this may have inspired you to go off in odd and bizarre tangents of stories. Please do. Please do, because it may take us down another little rabbit hole as to how we might actually find the ease in this life to weather the storm. Have a great day.